All right, 3 up, 3 down with Greg Bedard, presented by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. Enjoy the game with the original triple distilled, triple blended, and triple cask matured Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. Because when it's game time, it's Tully time. Please drink responsibly. 3 up, 3 down, 3 studs, 3 duds from last Thursday in Pittsburgh. We'll do all 3 at once for each and zip through it and then get back to the phone. So give me your 3 up here in order, Greg, please.
Ezekiel Elliott, he was just tremendous all the way around. The run game, not great stats, but really tough yards. The pass game, the tackle on the interception was tremendous. Michael Wenu, who he must have been sick last week. He did 2 weeks ago against the Giants. He had the best offensive line performance. Last week was one of the worst. This week set a new high as best offensive line performance for the Patriots, especially against T.J. Watt, who he did a nice job against. And then Anthony Jennings beat out Zappy, Christian Barmore. Jennings was tremendous on the edge in this game.
Zeke Elliott, Juju Smith-Schuster, and Zappy. I went with those three. And just to echo what Greg said on Elliott, he played in 92% of the snaps. No one other than him, save for Zappy. There was no other handoff to anyone other than Ezekiel Elliott.
Guy's a pro.
He really is.
He's a baller.
Amazing, right? And then 8 targets, 7 receptions, the tackle to save a touchdown. Like, it was a man's performance.
And this is just the kind of guy you would think, would just sort of coast if he had the chance. Or, that's not, you would think. What I mean by that is first-round pick, Dallas Cowboy, made his money, playing for nothing on a nothing team that's going nowhere. Running back who has, gotten beaten up over his career. Like, if anyone had an excuse just to sort of coast to the finish line, it would be him. And he just takes the exact opposite approach. So a lot of respect for Ezekiel Elliott. All right, 3 down there, Greg.
Ty Montgomery. Thank goodness.
I'm sorry, who? This is another guy.
Yeah.
How does he keep a roster spot?
He doesn't
I was
anymore.
asking
He's
that
gone.
all year.
Yeah.
When did that happen? I missed
After
that.
this game.
I missed it.
Like the next day.
They cut his ass. He's out of here.
What does he do? But go ahead. Next.
J.C. Jackson. He was awful in this game. Gave up a touchdown. He was lucky Mitch Trubisky threw a horrible ball, or else it would have looked even worse. He had 2 penalties. He has just been atrocious. And the thing is, like, physically, he's there, like, as far as his speed and engagement, but, like, he's just so undisciplined. And credit to the Patriots, his first time around, they were able to beat that out of him and get him to play more disciplined and focused. In this game, this season, he's just been a mess. He's been all over the place. And then City So, he gave up 2 sacks. He wasn't horrible in this game. I think he's done a nice job this year, but he just has bouts of inconsistency, like all rookies.
Ty Montgomery, J.C. Jackson, and Spicoli. And Brennan Schooler. Yes, and again, I'll go back to Montgomery just quickly because they did. They released him like the next day.
I didn't realize that.
Okay, sucks
Finally.
in his time here. He sucked on offense. He sucked in the return game. He sucked in punt protection.
And he was never healthy.
No, what did he do well?
I don't know.
I mean, and they held on to him right for 2 years. Like, what a good gig.
He's in the little Jordan Humphrey bucket of Patriots players.
So there's your 3 up, 3 down, brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. Back to your phones. Here is Jake in New York City on Bailey Zappy and his cockiness. Go ahead, Jake.
Hey, hey guys. I heard what you were saying about Bailey Zappy being cocky and talking to his college head coach about how he's going to start. But after we drafted Tom Brady, he went up to Bob Kraft and said that was the best decision he ever made. Isn't that worse? I mean, that's the owner of the Patriots, not his college coach.
It's nuanced, but it's different. That Brady comment was in a vacuum. And don't get me wrong, Brady was freaking competitive. He knew he was better than Bledsoe. But, he didn't say to Kraft, I'm going to beat that guy out. He just said, I'm the best decision you ever made. It's a nuance, but there's a difference to it. I mean, to me, I think it's splitting hairs with Zappy. I think, a guy with his ability level and size and whatnot has to have that sort of thing. Otherwise, he ain't going to make it. Now, like, there's a fine line between being competitive and being a dick, but you got to be somewhere in there at his ability level or he doesn't stand a chance.
Yeah, look, again, it's part of what I agree with the assessment that it's part of why he can do it. Okay, but I also would never equate what he has been at the podium, walking up there, to what Brady said to Kraft. Brady said to Kraft was in private. It wasn't out in public. And what Zappy said to his former OC was also a private conversation. I mean, it's not like he went out and told the way, I told my OC I was going to win this job. He didn't say that publicly.
No, and I mean, I remember I was covering the team when Brady officially got the job after that Rams loss, and that would have been the time. Up until then, it was an injury thing, so there was really no quote-unquote competition, if you will. It didn't happen until after Bledsoe got healthy, and then Belichick had to make a choice, and I just... Thinking back on it, I can't remember a thing Brady said at the time, which was nothing. He didn't take any victory laps. He just did his thing. But, yeah, okay, so Zappy's not Brady. All right, got that. Like, who is?
I mean, I don't mind him having – if he believes all this stuff, I have no problems with that. You know, if he's cocky in the locker room or behind the scenes, but, like, you know, public face – his college coach, offensive coordinator is talking to TV and talking out of school. I mean, we didn't hear about that Brady story until – years later, you know, in Super Bowls later, four freaking starts, and we're hearing this crap about Bailey Zappy.
It didn't come out after he beat the Bills in Week 13 or whatever. Chuck in Ohio. Go ahead, Chuck.
Yeah, first of all, I want to say I agree with Bedard about that ball that Bailey Zappy threw to Hunter Henry should have been intercepted. If the safety was Will Chamberlain, you got to be out of your mind. That was a beautiful pass.
Stepped into it. It was on a line. At least it had some zip on it. I mean, a good safety if he plays it right. Yes, I hear what you're saying, Greg. But at least that throw was made with confidence, and the ball was on a line, which I got a little sick of with Mac Jones. I'm not the biggest arm strength guy. I can get away with a little lack of arm strength, but it got egregious there with Mac Jones. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, sorry. I was just looking up. So to just see what somebody else had to say. I think is JT O'Sullivan, whoever does QB School on he does his YouTube videos. He breaks down quarterbacks. He was very critical of Mac Jones. Like I watched his Bailey Zappy assessment after I was done, and he agreed. He basically had the same assessment. I mean, the safety took a bad angle. Like he was in good position at first, but then he came up a couple feet, and that gave the opening. But you know, it was a good throw. It was a great result, but. The read, it was definitely a high
risky.
risk.
It's time to come out of that take bunker. It's okay. Zappy's better than you thought. Jones is worse than you thought. It should have been more of a competition. It's okay. If you just come to that, then you can just get on with your life as opposed to this thing now. You're just like stuck in your bunker.
No. I'm telling you,
I'm giving you a life.
I'm giving you
a life lesson.
I said last year, I said that about Zappy to the point where I said I was wrong. Bailey Zappy has proved that he's a good, solid backup quarterback / spot starter. And I was disappointed that I didn't think that they should have released him at the end of camp. I was disappointed in that. One other thing on the Zappy thing.
Here we go.
No. I'm just telling you that, you know, I'm trying to make sense of why Zappy went from where a lot of us thought he was at the end of last season to being released. And to me, I do think it had something to do with the offensive switch in this sense is that, you know, he came from a simple college offense. He went into a simple pro offense with Matt Patricia's so that he was able to get up to speed quicker than most. This season, he was basically back to being a rookie in terms of being in this complicated Patriots scheme, and I think it just took him a while. The Patriots didn't think that he was going to be able to get it, but he has now proven it's taken into halfway part of the season where he understands the scheme, he can operate the scheme, so I think he's proven that he can play in this scheme.
You see what he did there, Greg? He just put a big old piece of cheddar right under your nose, and you went, you took a big bite of it. That's called being baited.
I let Felger do his thing, and I do my thing.
We're supposed to be communicating.
No, that's okay.